was measurement?
Alright, so our first objective is to understand why we teach measurement and its importance.
Our second objective is to recognize where students have difficulty in understanding measurement and why.
And then we're going to work on to understand the importance of teaching the actual concept of measurement and not just how to measure.
And we're also, this is what our activity is based on, is to understand how to interpret measurement of the nearest inch, half inch, 1/4 of an inch, and 1/8 of an inch in a conceptual manner, as well as a procedural manner or both.
Why do you think we teach measurement, and why is it important?
So we can know the exact size of something?
These are the exact size, something, what else? I mean, like,
For a more accurate description of something, and also for uniformity, if you want something to be one way portion, to tell someone else you want to be that way.
anything else?
Latoya said cooking.
Cooking, how is measurement used in cooking?
Like if you have to measure, or like if you're baking something, you can measure like the sugar and the flour.
So then is measurement something you use in your daily lives?
Yes.
So then would it be important to learn it
Yes.
and to teach it?
Yes.
So measurement is one of the most practical ways in which mathematics is used in the real world. Measurement matters primarily because human activities, from commerce to construction to transportation to scientific research and even artistic expression depend on it, which is kind of like we just said. Each of your examples has to do with measurement in your daily lives.
And it's used not only in a mathematician isn't the only one who uses measurement. Everyone uses it every day. We use it, probably all of us drive in here, we use it to determine how far we have to go or how much gas we have left in our car, so we have to fill up. And then we use it to figure out how much money we have to pay for that gas. It's okay. Alright, so research says that not all students understand logic of measurement. A lot of times teachers will jump straight to teaching how to measure and they forget the whole conceptual part of it and they just go to the procedural.
How many of you, based on your past experience at school, have your teacher said, all right, well, this is what measurement actually is, and this is why we use it, and this is why it's important? Before they took out a ruler and said, all right, well, measure this.
Never.
Never, right? Well, one reason for this difficulty in learning measurement is also due to the way in which measurement has been traditionally taught as empirical procedure and how to use measurement tools, such as rulers, with little focus on children's ability to reason about measurement, which goes back to straight what Kristina had said, is that you're being taught how to measure and not why you're measuring things, not the logical aspect of it.
And it's also been said that it's recommended that in first grade measurement activities that they should focus on what it means to measure rather than measuring. So starting as young as first grade, they don't need rulers yet, they don't need that yet. You need to start with the basics and start with why it's important to measure and what measuring actually means, as opposed to automatically just taking out a ruler and showing them this is what this means. Because especially at first grade, they're really not going to understand what measurement means if you just show them how to measure.
And we did a lot of research on the topic, obviously, and it was really interesting to see how these three things pretty much say the exact same thing, and almost all our research says the same exact thing.
Alright, so the New York State Learning Standard that we use for our 5th grade lesson is use a ruler to measure to the nearest inch, half inch, 1/4 inch, and 1/8 of an inch. We focused on trying to show the concept of partial inches using fractions in measuring.
So what does it mean to measure to the nearest inch, half inch, 1/4 of an inch, or 1/8 of an inch?
non-bearing be round up or below a half an inch mark.
Why would it be useful to know that? To know that,
To know that something's like 1 1/4 inch instead of just 1 inch.
That's more precise.
And why is it good to have precision?
Because like the more accurate you are about something, the more accurate it is. Like let's say you're wallpapering a room, and you have to get it as close to, like you're taking a yardstick and you need to get it as close to the measurement as possible. But it's only gonna be like, it's right in between like the half and the quarter mark or something. So in that sense, like you have to decide like which one you're gonna round to. If it's, let's say like around like right in between the two, you have to like make the executive decision, or if it's closer to one than the other.
Right.
Doctors performing open heart surgery, I'd rather measure to the 1/8 than the half. So, you know, your scar is an extra half inch bigger than it needs to be.
Bring it to a whole new level.
it's interesting that we talked about precision with this, is because in our research that we did also, we also found that children's they don't really care about precision. They forget about this. Which is probably either because they don't understand it or they don't understand why they're doing it.
Okay, so what do the tick marks on a ruler represent? Lindsay?
It's different units depending on which ones. Usually the longer ones are gonna be 1 inch, and then they usually get shorter as it gets to smaller units. So a half, a quarter, and 1/8.
Right. So we need 3 volunteers.
Oh.
There is one,
One.
there's
Two.
2. One more.
So that's gonna.
Yeah, he's up here.
One more.
I didn't do it in my classes.
Alright, well, our 3 volunteers are going to represent how we would be able to teach this concept conceptually. So our first volunteer, I would like her to put 2 snap cubes together. Now, what do you think the line where the 2 snap cubes connect represent?
1/2.
1/2. Why would you say 1/2?
Because there are 2 cubes, and if it's dividing 2 cubes in half, you have 1 and 1. And this is the middle, which is 1/2.
Very good.
Okay, so can we have our second volunteer put 4 snap cubes together? Even. Okay, what do the lines in between these snap cubes represent?
Well, the whole thing is one whole, then maybe 1/4. Very good.
Alright, now our next volunteer. And put 8 snap cubes together.
Yes.
Now, what do you think those lines where they connect represent?
Well, like Lindsay said, this would be a whole, and it would be 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, or it would be just all 1/8, I guess.
Now, can anyone see why this activity would go with our question before, which is what do the tick marks on a ruler represent?